What's up everyone, welcome back to ARTV. My name is John. It's time for a review of possibly the most anticipated album of the year in the world of pop, alternative, mainstream. I would classify her as an alternative pop artist, but it's the debut album When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go by Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish has been active for a while now when it comes to writing music, making songs. She teamed up with her brother Phineas O'Connell early on, and they really do make a nice songwriting pair. When they come together, that's when the magic happens. And the entirety of this record was created in a bedroom, according to them. Just the two of them writing and producing these tracks together. And this is a follow-up, of course, to Don't Smile at Me, the EP that came out in 2017. There was an expanded edition later released, and I enjoyed that. If you would like to check out a full review, I did that on my channel. Tap the card on screen now. But to oversimplify, I saw a ton of potential. I liked the songwriting. I liked the angle. She started hinting at the release of a debut album by dropping singles like You Should See Me and A Crown, which absolutely got me stoked to hear new material. It's a fascinating release that I can really never skip over when it comes up on shuffle. Then we heard other tracks like Bury a Friend, which are kind of creepy. We got the extra vocals from Crooks there, and I felt that this just really reeled you in, not just the music video and the visual presence, because that very much is a part of Billie's music. But today, I want to focus obviously on the album and the music itself, because that is where the magic happens. I think eerie is a good word to describe the music on this album. There's a feeling of gloom, kind of like a dark carnival vibe in the first half, and then just a sad, reflecting, looking out at a very bleak picture. Maybe it's the beach in the middle of winter and nothing but gray is in sight. That's how I would describe the second half. I think that it's kind of a good melding of sounds, especially in the middle when we get some of the meeting and joining of these two ideas, and I really feel like it works out in fascinating manners. There's a surprising amount of real instrumentation on this record, which blends the synthetic world quite nicely. Of course, we do get the programming, the synthesizers that work in on some of these cuts, like My Strange Addiction, which also samples a clip from Threat Level Midnight, one of my favorite episodes of The Office, and I know that Billie Eilish is a huge fan, so it makes sense that she sampled there. And then we get, like I mentioned, the more real and raw instrumentation. The thumping bass on some of these cuts is unreal and so catchy, like on Bad Guy. Her brother Phineas O'Connell deserves a ton of credit for all of the work that he's doing behind the scenes. He's responsible for producing the entire record and at least co-writing every single song here. I feel that they obviously have a connection, not only because they're siblings, but because musically it seems like they're kind of able to express and bounce ideas off of each other. There's no real wall between them to say, we can't go here, we can't do this, we can't talk about this subject matter, and that's what I feel even brings out the best of Billie, because she's comfortable writing with him. Side note, but ASMR fans, rejoice, because this album is for you. Listen with high quality headphones and try Xanny out and listen to those rotating, fluctuating vocals, and then something like ilomilo or ilomilo, however it's pronounced, where all of the kind of shaded vocals that are chopped up and feel like they're floating off into space come out. And then some of the other cuts like You Should See Me in A Crown, where I can only describe the intro. It sounds like the blade of a sword running on the ground, and it feels like Billie Eilish walking up to conquer something. It just sounds so badass, but also like ear candy at the same time, because it's just so crisp. Oddly enough, going into this record, I almost expected to have a decent amount of nitpicks or criticisms, and I almost feel that that's due in part to the narrative that's being built online right now, to the people, to the critics that are saying, oh, she's nothing special, she's an industry plant, we've all heard it before, it doesn't matter, she's not doing anything that should raise anybody's eyebrows or attention. And I think that a lot of that comes with the territory of blowing up, getting famous. There's always going to be people that try to hop on and say, well, she's not good, or she's invalidated, or he's invalidated for this reason. And listening to this record more and more, I would say I'm about 9 listens deep at this point. It's an album that gets better the more you pay attention to it. When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go has the strength of not only having fantastic ace singles, but also deep cuts that are well layered and sprinkled. I feel that there's enough of a changing atmosphere to actually make this very satisfying, and it's something that doesn't lose grip as it continues on. In fact, I feel some of the more emotionally inclined tracks that really pull a response out of the listener come at the end of the release. Unfortunately, there are some pacing issues and a few places where I feel that the record is giving that try-hard vibe that so many people criticize her for. I don't feel that it's to the extent of, oh my god, it's so overwhelming, because I think people tend to focus so heavily on the visuals, on the music videos, and say she's trying to be shocking, she's trying to give this scary sensation. But in album review, we have to strip that away and we have to focus on the music. And I have to say to myself, is the music itself trying to be something that it's not? Is she trying to project something else? And from a songwriting point of view, she does have introspective stories, but as always, she writes from other people's perspectives and not something that's entirely autobiographical. And in my opinion, I don't feel it has the try-hard vibe overall. Let's hit the shuffle button and start by talking about Ilomilo for the tracklist breakdown. This is a song that definitely works well with its minimalism. Much of this record does play to that angle, although some tracks are more full than you might expect. This one, though, plays in particular to influences of trance and a little bit of glitch in there as well. I love the fact that the vocals do kind of pan out during the chorus. It feels like they're shot out into space and just kind of torn apart before fading back into it. The nice dripping keys on this one, it's really all about the atmosphere. If you're looking for songs that definitely feel more in line with the older stylings of Billie, then I would highly recommend 8, which is a reworked version of the demo See-Through. This is a cut that does have something kind of in the lane of Party Favor, where you get the ukulele and you get her being a little bit more upfront. We start off with the vocals that feel like a 3-year-old pitch-shifted version of Billie before actually getting to it, and I felt like I would have been more annoyed by this, but oddly, it really works well. Wish You Were Gay is a really cute track. Basically, Billie is trying to say, I wish that you were actually attracted to men. Maybe that was the reason you were ignoring me. And it turns out that he actually was gay, but in the context of the song, we're not supposed to know that. But here, it comes across as her just feeling desperate because she wants the attention from this guy who is so attractive to her, but he's not giving her any attention. He's just walking right on by. And the chorus here, I love the backing vocals, the almost kind of upbeat feeling that it gives, but it is kind of just like a yearning track that's saying, please give me any attention. Exclamation points opens up the record and it feels completely useless. It's just Billie talking about taking out her Invisalign for a few seconds before going straight into Bad Guy, which, oh my god, I've completely forgotten about the distaste that I have for exclamation points, because Bad Guy and that rumbling bass and those kind of tumbling vocals that look like they're ready to pick a fight, but it's also so playful and fun. God, this song is too good. Xanny comes right after that, and I love the panned vocals that go back and forth between left ear, right ear during the hook and the pre-chorus and everything. This one feels like commentary on the opioid crisis, and it's always nice to see somebody standing up and saying, I don't actually need this, despite like every song now telling me that I need this in order to have fun, or I need to have lean in my cup, or I need to be hooked on something, I need another pill. This is basically saying, why would I need that? I'm gonna be the outlier, the sober one at the party. As the song continues on, we see it turn into a bit more of a chamber pop affair, which is really nice to see. It focuses and emphasizes the keys. It almost feels like you're at some sort of gala event. And then we also get the live drumming, which is nice. Even though it comes in short spurts, when we get it on this song and the record, it's always a nice touch. Not only did I enjoy the danceability on this record of songs like Bad Guy, but we also get these super fun All the Good Girls Go to Hell, which again, kind of has that stabby bass in the background that makes things a lot of fun. Some chiming keys, a little bit of extra production work, the vocals here crisp and clear, and My Lucifer's Lonely, that opening line. Everything just sets the mood and we see exactly where this is headed. When the Party's Over is such a tense, well done song that still sends a shiver down my spine as I listen. It never gets old at all because there's an emphasis on Billie's voice, and the choral effect that's placed on it makes this so haunting, almost larger than life, but so small sounding at the same time. It's intimate, it's sad, it's angry, and goodness, it's fantastic. The 3 tracks that close out this album are a daunting task to take on and are very sad, melancholic, and reflective in their own ways. Listen Before I Go is the first of those, and this is a tune that opens by talking talking about Billie essentially laying somewhere and she wants to see the world as she turns blue, essentially as she starts to die. It seems like suicide is a very common theme on that track. It's prevalent, and there's other mentions in the record, but here it doesn't, again, feel autobiographical necessarily, but almost like she wants to see the world through somebody else's eyes. And I love the fact that the touch of sirens are given at the opening and closing of the track. It makes it feel like we're listening to somebody's last words as they think about stuff if they're going to go through with taking their own life. And it is kind of tragic in its own way, but the music here and the vocals, the lyrics, everything feels so solid, and it segues perfectly into the next track, I Love You. That song, according to Billie, is one of her favorites that she has ever written. I can absolutely see why. The pianos, the acoustic feelings that linger, and this feeling of sadness and a lack of connection, even though she's desperate to say, I love you back to her partner. The partner has said it first, and she doesn't know how to respond. I think a lot of us have been in that situation before, and even though she has the feelings, she doesn't want things to change, and this song does a great job at capturing that mood. The more you listen to Billie's debut album, the more the feelings actually kick in, and you see what it's all about. I'll admit that the first 2 or 3 listens, I wasn't feeling as strongly. I wasn't captivated by it, but I started to give it the attention that it deserved, and something unlocked in me. And this once again proves that it's the year of the 4, as When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go by Billie Eilish, her debut album, gets a 4 out of 5. What do you guys think? I know there's going to be a lot of discussion surrounding this one. I've had a ton of requests to cover it. Let me know in the comment section down below. Drop a like on this video and subscribe for the love of music. Please check out my recent video essay I did on Pete Wentz and BB Rexa and their former band that they used to have by tapping right here, or tap my review of Don't Smile at Me by Billie Eilish right over here. All of my social media accounts, including my Patreon page I mentioned earlier, are in the description down below. Other than that, I'll see you soon for more on ARTV.